Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for the segment, we have Chen, Chief Data Scientist at Experian, to discuss how data science is shaping up businesses going to 2023 and beyond. Kevin, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you for having me, Jill.
You got it. And data science is increasingly becoming more important for organizations. Tell us how data science is helping businesses make more informed and better decisions.
Sure. As you know, there's a tremendous amount of data in the business about the consumer's behavior as well as the business operation. By leveraging data science, we're actually able to extract patterns and trends in the data, as well as make prediction about the data. And that will enable the business to provide personalized solution to the consumer and improve the business operation and profit, and even mitigate the risk. So at Experian, for example, we've been leveraging data science and machine learning to combine a large regulated data sets to create a new credit score that can score 96% of the US consumer, as compared to 81% that the traditional credit score can do. So financial institution, if they are using this new credit score, they're actually going to be able to extend credit to more underserved communities.
Heading into 2023, how will the role of data science evolve, and what are some of the areas that would be a key focus in the new year?
One thing that comes to my mind is scaling. Data science is going to continue to scale by putting more machine learning model into production to realize business value. And this can be realized by using ML ops and feature stores that automate a lot of machine learning and data science workflow. We're also going to be seeing data science to allow the business to engage deeper with the consumer through conversational AI and natural language processing and so on. We are also going to be seeing data science to continue to expand into larger data set, more complex data set, and being able to combine them together to generate insight while preserve the data privacy. And lastly, we think the data science will be continue to scale by democratizing the data science to non-technical people, so that it's no longer be used by data scientists anymore. So to that purpose, Experian actually is developing a technology for the so-called Nocode AI.
Nocode AI, tell us more about how it works and how it will help business leaders.
Yeah, Nocode AI, for the Nocode AI that Experian Data Lab is developing is an AI-powered conversational agents that can perform data analytics. It enables non-technical professionals to be able to access to the data, analyze the data, and test their hypotheses, and even make predictions using the data without having to write a single line of code. This particular feature will enable the non-technical people to not rely on a team of data scientists that much as before. So the idea is to democratize this data science to people such as product managers, sales teams, and store owners, and anyone that can benefit from this. So the difference I want to point out, though, is this is different than the traditional conversational AI such as Siri and Alexa that can only provide readily available answers. What we would like to do is to allow the user to be able to ask any question, perform any kind of analysis pertaining to the data in the database. In other words, this Nocode AI will actually need to be able to understand what the user truly wants to analyze, what are the steps to take, and being able to create a program to analyze it.
Kevin, how will advances in data science help stay ahead of increasingly sophisticated fraudsters?
So, you know, a lot of frauds involve identity frauds. So by that, I mean, for example, the synthetic ID frauds is the fraudster, you create a fictitious identity about a new consumer. Or identity theft is fraudsters essentially assume the identity of the victim. So to stay ahead of the game, at Experian, we actually created an identity graph that use a lot of authoritative data sets about a consumer's identity. Then we use data science to bring them all together to stitch together a very comprehensive view of the consumer's identity so that we can leverage machine learning to look for the patterns of the fraudster's behavior that's different than the normal consumer's behavior. And the other thing that I want to point out is Froster wanted to stay ahead of the game as well, right? So they have been using machine learning and automation to up their game. So, for example, deepfake, as we know, that is no longer a science fiction for the Froster to use. And in order to combat these kind of new technology, we also need to use machine learning to continue identify the weakness of those techniques that's used by the fraudsters.
What role will data science play in helping businesses with enhancing the consumer experience and decisioning?
Data science has been used by the business to enhance the experience of the consumer. For example, data science can be used to identify the preference and the patterns of the consumers by looking into the transaction that happen within the business. And that has been enabled the business to create personalized solutions as well as to increase the loyalty to the brand. Now, what I think we can even improve that even more by bringing in the so-called conversational AI. Conversational AI will enable the business to engage with the consumer more directly by having the conversation to understand what the consumer truly need. So I want to give you an example, right? For example, today, when you watch Netflix, if there's some movie that you don't like, the only way you can to tell Netflix that you don't like it is through that thumbs up and thumbs down button. Now, what if, as a consumer, what if I will be able to tell Netflix exactly what I don't like about it and what else I would like about it? So I think that would be some way to enable the business to engage and enhance the consumer's experience a lot more.
Experian Data Labs has been innovating in this space quite extensively. What are some of the other areas within data science businesses should be thinking about?
Experian Data Lab has been constantly looking for emerging trends and to try to experiment with new ideas to create new solutions to transform the business. One particular area that we have been looking into is privacy-preserving technology. As you know, there has been quite a few high-profile data compromises as well as misuse of the consumer's data. So the consumer has becoming more and more worried about how the data will be used by the business. On the other hand, business actually thrive on the consumer's data so that they can provide services, right? And as a matter of fact, business not only wanted to use the data they have within their own business, they may also want to use data from the third party and potentially other organizations that may be competing with them. So how do we restore this trust among those players and being able to strike a balance between data security, data privacy, as well as being able to use the data for good is something that we've been thinking about. So we've been developing a solution for data data privacy preserving by using cryptography. We use cryptography to allow multiple organizations to be able to benefit from the information of the data in the other organization without having to physically transport the data from one to the other, so that the information can be used privately and securely. So we think things like this will continue to be a trend going forward.
And finally, Kevin, what is the 3 to 5 year outlook for data science as it relates to shaping businesses?
Well, in my mind, I think we talk about it, right? The democratization of data science is going to continue to go on. And I think we will see more and more capability to bring this data science capability to people who really need to make a decision and yet do not necessarily have access to the data science. And data privacy, as we discussed, this is going to continue because consumers will be more and more aware about their rights, and they wanted to be able to ensure the data is preserved correctly. So those will all be the direction that we want to be focusing on. Now, there's also some emerging trend that we also need to keep an eye on. For example, quantum computation. Although it's not necessarily in a mature state right now, but it will have some transformative benefit to the business once it's proved out. So definitely it's something we are keeping an eye on.
All right, Kevin, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you.